Hi, I'm Donna Jordan from Jordan Fabrics. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pattern called Simplicity. This is actually Simplicity 2 from Cozy Quilt Designs, and it's really fun because it uses the strip tube ruler. That's a fun technique for cutting, and these patterns are always really quick to make. One of the nicest things about the Cozy Quilt Design patterns is that they give you lots of sizes. I'm going to make the throw size here, so I'm going to need 42 strips. I think I'd like to use this nice bright batik strip set. It has 20, so I'm going to need 2 of these. Then I'm going to need a couple extra strips, and we're going to get those extra strips from one of our border fabrics. I think I would like a nice turquoise for the border. This one is very interesting. It has silver accents. That will look really good. For the inner border, I'm going to use this nice coral print. Those will frame these really nicely. We have everything we need now to make a really nice quilt, so let's go to the workroom and get it started. The first thing we're going to do is take a look at all these beautiful strips. That's one of the best parts of making any project, is opening up the strip units and seeing what's inside. So this is a Hoffman collection. It's all nice and bright colors. So we are going to take these, we're going to sew them in strip units. Lots of fun colors here. So we're just going to go right to the machine and we're going to pick up 2 different colors and stitch them together. We are going to pair up our strips here. It doesn't matter which 2 you use, but you want to get contrasting colors. So we've got a light blue and a dark blue, and then maybe we'll do a purple and a coral. You just want 2 different colors so you have some contrast. So we're going to put these right sides together. It's a little hard with batiks to tell the right side sometimes, but usually in the strip sets, the right sides are on the outside. This one has metallic, so it's real easy to tell. Now I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to use a small stitch length because we're going to cut these strip units after they're stitched. So 1/4 inch. Now you want to be careful when you stitch these that you don't stretch the top or don't stretch the bottom. They will stretch, so just put them really nice and flat on top of themselves and don't stretch, and sew right along the edge. Now we want to finger press this seam to one side. So this step really helps the quilt lay flat. It helps your ironing, it helps everything. So I'm using my fingernail, but you can use the pad of your finger. I'm opening it up and then I'm just pressing right along that seam. This makes sure nothing gets pulled as you sew, and it makes it iron up nice and flat. So I'm going to go ahead and sew up all of my strip units, and then we'll go over and press everything. Now that all the strip sets are sewn together, we're going to iron them a little bit. I'm not going to use steam. I like to lay this out on the edge of my ironing board here because it's nice and straight, and that way I know my strip unit is straight. And I'm not going to use steam again. Just iron it a little bit, because after we cut these into triangles, we're going to have to change the way the seam allowance is going on some of the pieces. So just press it with a dry iron. Every strip unit is going to get cut the same way. It's really easy. So I'm going to put this onto the board and I'm going to line up my strip tube ruler, the 6-inch line on the edge, and I'm going to cut. Now we'll cut down this way. Now we're going to turn the ruler around and put the line up at the top. And we'll just keep doing this for the whole strip unit. Now sometimes, like right here, I can't go all the way to the edge, so I'm going to have to make a fresh cut here and here. Otherwise we would have the tip cut off a little. Here is what we got from one strip unit. I got 8 triangles. So I'm going to take 4 of them. I'm going to take 2 of these and 2 of these, and this is what we're going to make a block out of. Here's what the block is going to look like. That's half, and that's half. So we are going to sew down these two seams here. So I'm going to fold them in half, and I'm going to take this one right over to the machine. Now all of the seam allowances are pointing that way, and that's going to make it difficult for them to nest. So we're going to want this back one to flip down like that. And you can just flip it down and hold it there while you get ready to sew. Now I'm going to get the next half, which is going to go right here. And again, the seam allowances, they're going all the same way. So I'm going to flip that back one down. Now I'm going to flip the whole thing over, and I'm just going to make that seam allowance the whole way go the way I want it to go. Now the block will lay nicely. So we're going to open these up, and we're going to finger press this seam allowance to the right and this bottom one to the left. Now we'll put it right sides together. All of our seam allowances are going to nest. The bottom one's going that way, that's going that way, that way, that way, and we can get everything lined up nicely here. Now we're going to want to iron the block. I like to iron it closed first. I like to have everything patted into place and make sure my seam allowances are going the way I want, and then open it up. And you have to be careful about finger pressing this because it will stretch because the seam is biased. So I'm usually going to smooth it out a little bit and try not to stretch it too much, then iron. All we have to do now is trim off these dog ears, make the rest of the blocks, and we will be well on our way to getting this quilt done. All the blocks are done now. These are really fun to make. They go together really fast. To lay them out into a quilt, the cozy quilt picture here, there's not really any set pattern at all. And so you can do these kind of at random. You can just start laying them out. Or if you like, you can have them all going the same way. So this is what I mean by going the same way. I have all of the diagonal lines running this way. But if you like, you can start turning some and have things go in a lot of different directions. I think I'm just going to start laying them out, balance the colors, and then spin things around till I get it in a very pleasing layout. I have the quilt top all finished, and it's loaded onto the quilting machine. So we need to pick a thread color. This is a nice bright quilt, so I could use really any of these colors. I tend to try to do a lighter color because I think it is less distracting from the patchwork. This nice light blue doesn't show up much. The purple, it's beautiful, but it's really going to show up in those light areas. We have a lot of turquoise. I think I'm going to go with this nice light aqua color. Now we get to pick a quilting pattern. I think I'd like something swirly. This one would work really well. We could do flowers. That one is a great pattern. One I do often on batiks is called Calm Waters. This is a really good one. It has watery movement, kind of wavy, and that's the one I'm going to use. I have the pattern all programmed in, so when I press this button here, it's going to go. Now that the quilt is finished, you can see a lot of secondary patterns showing up. That's one of the best things about this quilt. I turned the blocks a lot of ways, and I finally ended up making a couple of squares and throwing them in here that have this right in the middle. And then I just turned the other ones at random. I didn't try to get any special secondary pattern showing, but you can really see it popping out. It's really, really fun to stand back and see all the different angles and zigzags in there. This is the throw size. It's about 58 by 65. The pattern has 7 different sizes. That's one of the nice things about Cozy's patterns. Lots of different sizes. We quilted it in that calm waters, so you see the motion of the quilting. You can see the motion on the back here, a little bit more on the leaves. Really nice, bright, cheerful colors, but this pattern would look good in almost any color combinations. So simplicity too, it really was easy to make. Thanks so much for watching our video today. We hope you enjoyed it. Now it's giveaway time again. We have a quilt we're going to give away. This is a beautiful star quilt. Here, let me get it where you can see it. This is Holiday Flourish, big stars with a nice kite tail border, silver accents. This would look really nice hanging on your wall at Christmas time or on the back of the couch. So it's very easy to enter the giveaways. Just follow the link below that says giveaway. Put in your email address and your name, and you could be the lucky winner. Happy quilting!